Congress, where our allies don't trust us and our enemies don't fear us.
We've got a problem. The solution. Check in at the top and bottom of the hour. Our news updates will keep them.
This is about
The
truth.
Tom Sullivan Show, afternoons 1 to 3 on News Talk 1350 and the new FM 103.5 KSRO.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker joining us on the program from the campaign trail. Governor, how are you?
Hey, I'm outstanding. Thanks for having me on.
I was reading a lot over the weekend, in particular the Washington Post with their headline, "What happened to Scott Walker?" And it's amazing. We're 14 months away from the November 2016 election. Only 12% of the electorate in Iowa has made up their mind about who they're going to vote for. And people are counting people in and counting people out and who's up and who's down. I guess when you're in the game you're in, you kind of have to just take it for what it is and just continue to do what it is you're doing, right?
Oh, exactly, particularly from the Washington crowd. I mean, this is the crowd who counted me out back in 2011 when we pushed our big, bold reforms. They said I was toast. They said I wouldn't win. We won the recall by more votes than we did the first time. They said I wouldn't get reelected. I won again last year. They want us out because, in the end, what they fear more than anything is we don't just win elections in battleground states. We actually do what we say we're going to do. We pass and put into action common sense conservative reforms. And I think that threatens the left more than anything out there.
Weakened the public unions. You made necessary, but some would say painful cuts to the budget. You reduced taxes in the state by more than $2 billion. So all good for the state of Wisconsin. But taking this on a national level, people are saying, okay, and poll after poll says economy and jobs, economy and jobs, economy and jobs. But it seems as if all the talk these days, for whatever reason, is all about immigration and building walls on the southern and northern border. This was something that you say was brought up to you by people, business owners, et cetera, in New Hampshire that said we should take a look at building a wall on the northern border with Canada, which I believe is the largest border in the world, 5,525 miles. Is that logical? To me, it just
example of this. So I'm on Meet the Press, and Chuck Todd asked about that, and what I said is someone on one of our campaign events brought up a concern about this issue. The concern was about staffing levels for federal employees that work with local law enforcement and not having enough to work with them on issues that come up along the border counties, not about building a wall. And next thing you know, poof, the national media says Walker's saying something in that regard. That's not at all what we said. I pointed out that I thought it was a reasonable issue to look at when the person brought up the issue. The staffing levels for federal employees who are working to help local law enforcement there. That's what I'm talking about. My concern overall absolutely is about border security. You look, I've been at the southern-based border. I've been there with Governor Abbott. I've been there with state and local officials. I've seen the problems there. There are international criminal organizations coming across our southern-based border on a day-in and day-out basis with drugs, with firearms, with human trafficking. And we need to do something about it. And that's where, to me, I think we need to invest our time and our resources when it comes to putting up a wall, putting up the actual infrastructure and the personnel and the technology to protect that. What I'm talking about in the north is literally just looking at the issue of whether or not there's an appropriate level of staff to work with local authorities.
Southern border estimates that 60% of the people come here illegally. 40% of the people that are here illegally overstayed their legal visas. So if you build a southern wall, and we've already tried that with SBI Net, which was a virtual fence that was $1 billion fiasco with Boeing about a decade ago. We still then, let's just say that the border wall works. We still have 40% or more of the people that come here legally that then overstay their visas, then become illegal. What do you do about that? That's a big percentage of the people that came legally are now illegally. How do you address that issue with people who get past the wall legally?
You're right. And on the wall itself, to me, it's beyond just people coming in as immigrants who are not coming through a legal pathway. Because we're a nation of immigrants. We just have a broken system right now. So the infrastructure we talk about, particularly in the South, is about not just about the immigration system. It's about public safety. It's about certainly national security. It's about sovereignty in this country. What I've said repeatedly all throughout this year, all throughout this campaign, secure the border, enforce the laws, no amnesty, and go forward with a legal immigration system that gives priority to American working families and their wages in a way I think will improve the American economy. And it's right to the point. The second point I mentioned is right to your point, which is if we enforce the laws, that means an effective E-Verify system so that every employer in this country has to make sure that the people working for them are legal to work there. You put the onus on at the spot of the employer. You make it an easy-to-use system, whether you're a big business or a small business. Everybody in the country can effectively use it. You secure the border and enforce the laws. Then the rest of the issues take care of themselves. And then we have, like I said, a legal immigration system going forward that first and foremost gives priority to the impact on American working families, so that we're doing more to strengthen the American economy and doing it in a way that makes sure that we look out for people here in America, whether you were born here or whether you came here legally. Those should be the people we give first priority to in terms of the impact it has on the economy.
Is the birthright citizenship, is illegal immigration, is border walls the real issue, or is it the economy? Is it jobs?
I think it's totally the economy. I think this is one of the things where the national media, not you, but some of the other national folks just get obsessed with one of the particular candidates. They find him appealing. Although, for all this talk about polls, let's remember, in October of 2007, so even later than we are today, October 2007, Rudy Giuliani and Fred Thompson were way ahead of John McCain and Mitt Romney. And on the Democrat side, someone by the name of Hillary Clinton was way ahead of John Edwards and some guy, I don't think we've heard of, Barack Obama. So a lot's going to change between now and the first votes are cast in Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina, Nevada, and elsewhere. But let's be clear. People talk to me the most about, they talk to me about the economy. They want a federal government that gets out of the way and gets out of their life. It's too big. It's too expansive. They think it's too much in the way of economic growth and prosperity in this country. They want to get rid of Obamacare. They like our plan, Day One Patient Freedom Plan, that actually talks about not just the idea of getting rid of Obamacare, but how to do it. Those are the things that people want to talk about.
And they can read about it at your website, scottwalker.com. I got about 10 seconds. I got to get out. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. It's nice to know that the president is focused on the economy and jobs, renaming mountains in Alaska. So, we can all sleep comfortably tonight. Governor Scott Walker, I wish we had more time. We don't. We'll do it again. scottwalker.com, the website. Thank you, sir. Stick with us right back.
Millions of people are suffering from constipation and